And so you just kind of digest the news of the day.
It's an affirmation.
I'm glad some good is coming out of this stuff. This is Robert Mueller.
Robert Mueller putting the squeeze on the president.
We've been on a huge promotional tour, and we will try and ask you at least a few authentic.
I feel like at this point in my career, I've earned the right to fail.
That is remarkable, I have to say.
Incredible transformation.
It is an incredible transformation. Who was the teacher
Watch
you drew?
this.
Oh, yeah, all right.
So the idea that kind of actors mouth off about political candidates is not a new story. I don't really know why we're giving it time to.
Jim Carrey called Trump supporters rabid dogs, while Will Smith demanded a cleansing of conservative ideas from America. But when Antonio Sabato Jr. simply said he liked Trump, Hollywood blacklisted him faster than you can say hypocrisy. So celebrities can trash the First Lady and call half the country dogs, but heaven forbid a conservative actor speaks his mind. The entertainment industry that preaches tolerance sure has a funny way of showing it. Let's dive into this mess. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great, thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Did you know Jim Carrey once compared Trump's administration to a rabid dog? Let's see what else these A-listers said. Jim Carrey, the guy who once talked through his butt in Ace Ventura, has transformed from Hollywood's goofball into one of Trump's fiercest critics. Remember when all we knew Carrey for was making silly faces and physical comedy? Well, those days are long gone. Now he's busy creating political artwork and dropping verbal bombs on the former president that would make even seasoned politicians wince. During a 2018 interview with Bill Maher, Carrey pulled no punches when he described the Trump administration as a rabid dog that was turning America upside down. But that was just the appetizer in Carrey's anti-Trump buffet. He didn't stop there. He went on to call Trump a used car salesman and an insurance policy for the worst elements in our society. Ouch, that's quite the career change from portraying Lloyd Christmas to becoming Trump's personal nightmare. What's particularly interesting is how Carrey has used his artistic talents to express his political views. His paintings of Trump and his administration officials are brutal. We're talking nightmare fuel that makes the mask look like a Disney character. In one particularly harsh piece, Carrey depicted Trump as a witch with green skin, suggesting he was melting just like the Wicked Witch from The Wizard of Oz. Talk about not holding back. During his appearance on Real Time with Bill Maher, Carrey also took aim at what he called capitalism without conscience, directly connecting this concept to Trump's business practices and presidency.
You got to speak, man. This is not a time to clam up, and not a time to get frightened. You have to do what you have to do. This is dire.
Well, Hollywood may be hitting a new low in the 2016 race. A-list actor Will Smith appearing to call for the country to purge itself of Donald Trump supporters, or at least of their ideas.
Makes me feel good.
When you were a kid, would you draw caricatures of your friends, etc.?
I did. I drew pictures of my teacher.
Oh, really?
And I don't
How'd
have
that
any of
go
those
over?
with me. She actually stole. Wow, look at this. I can do anything with it.
Good deal of bravery for someone like that to put themselves out there. I don't think he should necessarily be surprised. I'm not surprised. I mean, I've seen it happen over and over again, and that's why Republicans in Hollywood have secret meetings.
We have to say yes to socialism, to the word and everything, Carrey declared, arguing that Trump's version of capitalism was destroying the middle class. Pretty heavy stuff from the guy who once said, "Alrighty then," for a living. But Carrey isn't the only A-lister who's been taking shots at Trump. Will Smith, the Fresh Prince himself, has been equally merciless in his criticism. During a press conference for his film Bright in 2017, Smith didn't mince words about his feelings toward Trump. This is the purge, right? This is the cleansing. This is what happens. This is the natural reaction to the amount of light that came into the world when Barack Obama was president. Smith went even further, saying Trump was an embarrassment to America and that his presidency would eventually help the country by exposing racism and other problems. We're talking about healthcare and debate about whether or not people need to have healthcare, Smith said with obvious frustration. I'm looking at these United States. We're at our natural bottom. What's particularly shocking about Smith's comments is his use of words like purge and cleansing, terms that carry some pretty dark historical connotations.
I just want to express it in a positive way. You know, I mean, I want to turn everything painful into art.
I think it's good. We get to hear it, we get to know who people are, and now we get to cleanse it out of our country. So I'm going to take shots, and I'm not going to hit them all because I'm going to be trying really wild, aggressive, creative things.
Not working.
Oh, they got you coming and going, man. You know what I mean?
So, you know, some of them will be critically acclaimed, some of them will make money, and some of them will be Wild Wild West.
For a beloved actor who's built his career on being likable and family-friendly, these statements represent a dramatic departure from his usual public persona. But here's the question. What gives these celebrities the right to speak so harshly about elected officials? They're actors, not political analysts. They make millions pretending to be other people, yet somehow their political opinions carry weight with their massive audiences. When Jim Carrey calls Trump's administration a rabid dog, he's not just making a random insult. He's deliberately framing Trump as dangerous, uncontrollable, and harmful to America. What's fascinating is how these comments were received. For Trump supporters and conservatives in Hollywood, yes, they do exist. These celebrity takedowns felt like personal attacks. When Will Smith talks about a purge and cleansing, those words sound alarming to the 74 million Americans who voted for Trump in 2020. It's one thing to criticize policies, but quite another to suggest that supporters of a political figure need to be cleansed from society. Turns out Hollywood's famous tolerance comes with a giant asterisk that says conservatives need not apply. While A-listers like Carrey and Smith score brownie points for their Trump takedowns, let's look at what happens when an actor dares to swim against Tinseltown's liberal current. Remember Antonio Sabato Jr., the Calvin Klein model turned actor who appeared in hundreds of TV shows and movies. His face was plastered on billboards across America, and he starred in shows like General Hospital and Melrose Place. But in 2016, he made what Hollywood considers the ultimate career sin. He spoke at Donald Trump's Republican National Convention. Almost overnight, Sabato Jr.'s flourishing career vanished faster than free cocktails at an awards show after party. The guy who once had directors fighting to cast him suddenly couldn't get his agent to return his calls. When he investigated what happened to his lined up projects, the answer was painfully simple. His Trump support had made him radioactive.
You react to the pipe bombs. Are you afraid personally ever?
Apparently I was threatened on Twitter, so I don't know. I didn't see the thing. I heard there was, you know, some severed goat head, and I'll see you soon kind of thing.
He's a Hollywood actor. He's not accountable to the American people. He doesn't have to be politically correct. He doesn't have to, as somebody like Donald Trump say, have to mind what he said.
It has to do with, it's become obvious that the choice was a bad one. We just need to change it. And if you can't vote for a Democrat, at least let all this flood of information that's so negative.
Here's the thing. This is not to defend what Will Smith said, because that's not my job. He can say whatever he wants.
When I got back from the RNC in Cleveland, I had some jobs lined up, and I investigated why those jobs weren't there anymore. And apparently it was because my support from Mr. Trump, Sabato Jr. explained. Just like that, decades of acting experience became irrelevant because he committed the cardinal sin of supporting the Orange Man. Sabato Jr. isn't some random case either. His experience represents Hollywood's unofficial blacklist, not the 1950s communist one, but the modern conservative one. Actors who've dared to show even mild support for Trump or Republican policies have watched their careers implode while their liberal colleagues get standing ovations for calling Trump everything but human. Take James Woods, whose razor-sharp wit on Twitter defending conservative values coincided with a suspicious drying up of acting offers. Or consider Stacey Dash from Clueless, who became persona non grata after expressing right-leaning views. Even Roseanne Barr, whose revived show was crushing the ratings, got booted faster than you can say double standard after her controversial tweets. Meanwhile, what happens when you bash Trump in Hollywood? Your phone rings off the hook. Robert De Niro screams, "F***ing Trump" at the Tony Awards and gets a standing ovation. Madonna talks about blowing up the White House and keeps getting multi-million-dollar deals. Kathy Griffin holds up a fake severed Trump head, faces a brief timeout, then comes roaring back with a victimhood tour and new contracts. The financial impact on blacklisted conservative actors is devastating. We're not talking about hurt feelings here. We're talking about mortgages, college funds for kids, and careers built over decades suddenly evaporating. Sabato Jr. eventually had to leave California altogether and find work in construction to support his family. Imagine spending your life building an acting career only to end up building houses because you supported the wrong politician. What's really rich is that this is happening in an industry that won't shut up about diversity and inclusion. Hollywood executives pat themselves on the back for casting decisions while systematically excluding anyone whose political views differ from the approved script. They'll fight for every kind of diversity except the kind that happens between your ears. The message is crystal clear. In Hollywood, you can be any color of the rainbow as long as you're politically blue. You can believe anything you want as long as it's what everyone else believes too. For an industry built on make-believe, their commitment to political conformity is oddly rigid. Hollywood's rainbow of inclusion mysteriously skips one color, red. Their tolerance parade marches proudly down Sunset Boulevard until it hits a Trump bumper sticker. Then suddenly the champions of Your Truth Matters become the enforcers of Only Our Truth Matters. It's the magic trick they don't teach at film school. You've seen the award shows, right? Those glitzy gatherings where celebrities lecture America about accepting all viewpoints while wearing expensive borrowed jewelry. The same stars who post black squares on Instagram to show solidarity with marginalized groups somehow can't extend that same compassion to the guy in the MAGA hat.
You know, these really negative forces like the Steve Bannons of the world are convincing us that we're separate, that we're not the same country, that there's two countries. There's not two countries.
He says that the country needs to cleanse itself of Donald Trump's supporters. He's going after the supporters.
I spent 2 weeks in Europe 2-3 weeks ago, and I got to tell you, when people talk about U.S. politics,
Axes in her head and things like that. Yeah. It's like I hadn't learned how to be correct yet. Yeah, she took them all.
Oh, she confiscated them.
Says that she's going to leave it. If Samuel Jackson, you know, if Miley Cyrus says that she's going to move to Canada or New Zealand, it's like, go ahead, but don't say that you're going to purge or cleanse the country.
Funny how that works. Hollywood has mastered the art of performative tolerance. They'll greenlight movies celebrating every kind of diversity imaginable, except political diversity. They'll stand and applaud speeches about inclusion during the Oscars, but behind the scenes, they're checking their colleagues' voting records faster than TMZ checks for celebrity scandals. The irony gets even thicker when you consider Will Smith's call for cleansing America of Trump supporters while working in an industry that plasters coexist bumper stickers on their Teslas. The cognitive dissonance is so strong you could power all of Los Angeles with it. Maybe that's their solution to clean energy. Remember those I Stand with social media campaigns that spread through Hollywood faster than gossip at a premiere after party? Somehow they never seem to include I Stand with conservative actors who just want to work. That hashtag mysteriously never trends, even though it would probably get more engagement than another celebrity ice bucket challenge. The entertainment industry loves to pat itself on the back for being a safe space where people can express themselves freely, unless of course you express support for the wrong candidate. Then your agent suddenly develops a mysterious case of never returning your calls. Your auditions dry up faster than a puddle in Death Valley, and your industry friends develop selective amnesia about your existence. What's truly fascinating is how quickly the punishment comes down on conservative voices. Express even mild support for a Republican policy, and watch how quickly your name gets crossed off casting lists. Meanwhile, celebrities can literally pose with mock-up severed heads of the president and be back hosting New Year's Eve specials within a year. Hollywood's forgiveness apparently has a political prerequisite. This isn't just about hurt feelings, it's about livelihoods being destroyed over political differences. In what other industry could you lose your entire career because you voted differently than your boss? Imagine if your plumber refused to fix your pipes because they saw a Biden sign in your yard, or if your dentist suddenly couldn't fit you in because you mentioned liking Bernie Sanders. We'd call that discrimination. But in Hollywood, they call it values. And the echo chamber grows stronger every day. Anti-Trump sentiment doesn't just get tolerated in Hollywood. It gets rewarded with applause, better contracts, and more visibility. Meanwhile, conservative creatives learn to keep their mouths shut if they want to keep working. It's like living in opposite land. The industry that makes its money telling stories somehow can't tolerate different perspectives in real life. Trump, of course, notices this double standard. He watches as celebrities who've never met him trash his family on national television while claiming moral superiority. He sees his supporters in Hollywood forced into silence or career suicide. Is it any wonder he views the entire entertainment industry as an extension of his political opposition? Trump really hit the nail on the head when he said, "You can't lead America if you don't love the American people." But when Trump responds to celebrity attacks with this kind of statement, the entertainment news barely covers it, while every nasty celebrity comment gets front page treatment. Talk about a double standard. The entertainment industry has become Hollywood's version of North Korea, a place where only one political opinion is allowed. Poor Antonio Sabato Jr. is the perfect example of what happens when you step out of line. One day you're booking acting gigs, the next you're Hollywood's least wanted just for supporting the wrong candidate. So next time some Hollywood big shot lectures us about tolerance while trashing Trump or Melania, just remember, these are the same folks who claim to love diversity but will destroy your career if you vote differently than them. That's not tolerance, that's just bullying with better lighting.